Good evening, everyone. Hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. It is hard to believe we are less than 1 week away from Election Day, and the urgency of this moment is absolutely upon us. My name is Lorenza Ramirez, and I'm the National Organizing Director here at the DNC. I am so excited to be here tonight alongside an absolute superstar lineup of guests who you'll hear from shortly. So to get us started this evening, I'm honored to introduce our chair, Ken Martin. Chair, I'll pass it over to you. Perfect. You're good to get started. Wonderful. All right, Chair, are you with us? You
Yes.
are good to go. Get us started here.
Oh, great. Thank you. I'm sorry I'm having some tech issues here. Hello, Democrats, and thank you for joining tonight. I am just so grateful to our DNC organizing team, including Kate Beacon, Lorenza Ramirez, and of course, Mansi Gupta for bringing us all together. Now, organizing is the lifeblood of the Democratic Party, and that's why I've been on the ground all year and have crisscrossed across New Jersey, Virginia, Pennsylvania, and California in these final days of this 2025 election season. The DNC has shown up everywhere this year. We have communities where hospitals and childcare costs are out of control. Towns where the and rural stand loud and hard for generations. And Republicans organizer, one of us can't leave.
Oh, I think the chair is having some technical difficulties, so I think he'll be coming back with us shortly. But to keep us going, I would love to introduce our next governor of New Jersey, Mikie Sherrill.
Well, thank you so much, Lorenza. I want to thank Chair Martin, Maggie Moran, of course, Senator Booker and Senator Kim, who have been working overtime here in New Jersey to get the vote out. We also had Senator Klobuchar here a couple weekends ago. She knocked it out of the park. In Gloucester, we are in a tough race in New Jersey, and we are seeing great results, thanks in large part to all of the support from so many people across the country, both the donations that have come in to help us with our paid communications, as well as all the phone banking, text banking, and the final get out the vote. So we have 6 days left. The vote by mails are looking very good. And we also are now in early in-person voting. That is going very well, too. That's very new here in New Jersey. I'll tell you that what people have been responding to, we had a really hard primary, 6-way primary. What people have been responding to is just this sense that I'm going to have their back, I'm going to fight for them, and that everything Trump and my opponent, Jack Ciattarelli, plan to do is going to raise their costs. They're seeing it everywhere, whether it's tariffs, the one big beautiful bill. Now everyone's concerned about the SNAP funding. I was just at a senior center with a lot of Meals on Wheels recipients. So at every turn, we're seeing huge hits to the economy, from seniors to college kids who are worried about finding jobs. So the message is cutting through on my desire to cut costs, to bring costs down for New Jerseyans, and to fight Trump and the economic harm he's doing, while my opponent has given Trump an A. So that's where all of you come in. We need everybody to get out and vote. New Jersey is a blue state when we vote. So we have a history of turning over the governors. So we usually, after 8 years of a Democrat, have a Republican. That pattern has not been broken since the 1960s, I believe. So we have a lot of headwinds here, but we have developed the biggest field program that New Jersey's ever seen. We ran the largest primary. The Democratic primary had the largest turnout of any primary New Jersey's ever seen. And so we are back at it for this race, but we need to get every vote out, and we need your help. So please go to MikieSherrill.com/volunteer to learn how you can get involved and get this vote out in just the next couple days. So we're really excited. And I just want to thank everybody so much for all of your help and support as we work to get this finished.
Amazing. Thank you. Be sure to follow that link if you haven't signed up already. Wonderful. On to our next speaker of the evening. I'm excited to introduce Senator Kim from New Jersey.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me. Well, look, I just wanted to say a quick hi to everybody because we are really in the trenches here in New Jersey, and I'm doing everything I can as the last Democrat to be able to win statewide in New Jersey. I know how tough it is to communicate to 9.3 million people. I came into Congress alongside Mikie Sherrill back in 2019. She's a deep friend of mine and somebody that I know is going to be a great governor to my family, to my state, that is now more important than ever as we see the damages that we see from Donald Trump, and we know what's going to happen if we have a Republican governor. We just got notice the other day that healthcare costs in New Jersey for those on the Affordable Care Act are going to go up 174%, 174% from last year. You know, these are the damages that people see right before their eyes that are going to hurt so many people across my state and across this country. And people in New Jersey are also seeing other damages that are happening as Donald Trump is holding the Gateway Tunnel project hostage right now, using this $16 billion infrastructure project that's going to generate $445 billion in economic gain hostage. He's holding that hostage for political revenge and retribution. And people in New Jersey can't stand that mob boss tactics that are happening there. So I've been going all over New Jersey, making sure we're able to get the word out about Mikie and Democrats up and down the ballot. Now more than ever, it's important. I've been saying lately that, I got an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old. I got a 10-year-old who's closer to college than he is to his birth. And the next governor could very well be the governor for the rest of my kids' childhood. So I keep just telling people in New Jersey, like, please let that not be Jack Ciattarelli. Someone who we know is going to be sending New Jersey in the wrong direction, someone who will just open the front door to Donald Trump. This is absolutely the worst thing that could happen. And I can tell you a lot of independent voters, a lot of people across New Jersey feel the same way. So look, I'm going to continue to press on the gas, but we need help. I always say in this last stretch, run like you're 1 point down. Do everything we can to be able to step up for New Jersey. And what we know is that New Jersey and Virginia, this is going to set the tone going into the midterms year. All my other senators are always asking me, what's it like on the ground in New Jersey? We have to send a definitive message to the rest of the country that this country demands a change in direction, that we do not want more of what we've seen from Donald Trump. And we're going to see that in New Jersey. We're going to see that across all 50 states. So thanks so much. And please, let's support Mikie. Let's support Abigail. Let's get this across the line and have a great Election Day win.
100%. Thank you so much, Senator Kim. And I could not agree more. If you have not knocked doors, if you have not made phone calls, you can text at the bottom of the screen, text GOTV to 43367, and we'll get you plugged in on how to volunteer. Up next, I'm excited to introduce Senator Booker from New Jersey.
I love all this Jersey we have on this call today. It's an honor to be here after Andy Kim and to have a chance to watch my next governor speak. Look, down here in Washington right now, it's agonizing to watch this government be shut down by Donald Trump and congressional Republicans who are doing everything they can to savage basic bedrock programs that Americans rely on. They've already cut through their big, beautiful bill. They've cut almost $1 billion from feeding programs like Meals on Wheels and SNAP. They've taken a baseball bat to Medicaid with $1 trillion of cuts that are coming down the pike. And now they're gutting the Affordable Care Act, which was their plan as was written in Project 2025. On top of that, this president is showing corruption like we've never seen before in the Oval Office, and cruelty in the way that he says he wants to create maximum pain. Amidst all of this right now, we have two critical elections in New Jersey and Virginia, which are the first opportunity that we have to do what we need to do, which is to push back and show this country, which overwhelmingly disapproves of the president, to show them that we are going to gain momentum and that the people will not have it. I know in the state of New Jersey, we have something frightening. We have Mikie Sherrill running against a Republican candidate who seems to be just like congressional Republicans right now, doing a whole new level of yoga and Pilates and their willingness to bend over backwards and do whatever Donald Trump wants. In fact, Chitterelli, the person that Mikie Sherrill is running against, has said, I am 100% MAGA. Well, 100% MAGA means that you endorse the kind of corruption that has made Donald Trump a crypto billionaire. 100% MAGA means that you believe in destroying Medicaid and Medicare and the Affordable Care Act. 100% MAGA means that you are undermining the kind of feeding programs that our children rely on, from school lunches to SNAP payments. 100% MAGA means that you're in favor of these terrible tariffs that have added to the rising costs that people have seen over Donald Trump's 10 months, that have been rising fuel costs, rising grocery costs, and now these skyrocketing premiums. This is our chance to show that the MAGA world is not going to win when it comes to what the people want, when it comes to justice, when it comes to healthcare access, when it comes to affordability, when it comes to making our nation work for everyone, not just the privileged few that they've benefited in their big, beautiful bill, which gave trillions of dollars of tax cuts to the wealthiest of the wealthy. And so this election is our first chance. And what's happening in New Jersey gives me excitement and enthusiasm, but we have a lot of work to do before Election Day. This is a New Jersey election, but it's also a national election. And we need everyone possible to get involved in this so that we can show that as dark as things are right now, the sun is rising, better days are coming, hope is on the horizon. And I'm excited as one of Jersey's senators. I'm excited that New Jersey has the chance to be one of the first states, along with Virginia, that stands up and says enough is enough. The momentum is going against this person. We're going to win at the polls, take back not only the Senate and the House, but really show that the American people have had truly enough of this president. So thank you all. Please get involved. Please do something. Please give what you can, volunteer what you can. We can show through your activism that indeed this is still a democracy where the power of the people is greater than the people in power.
100%. Thank you, Senator Booker. Amazing.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you. And on to our next incredible speaker. I'm honored to introduce Governor Beshear. Hello, hello.
Hello, everybody. I'm Andy Beshear, and I am the proud Democratic governor of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. If you don't know me, I'm the guy that beat Mitch McConnell's hand-picked candidate by 5 points in 2023 and Donald Trump's endorsed candidate by 5 points in 2023. I think I'm living, breathing proof that Democrats can and should win everywhere. We do that by never compromising our values of leading with our compassion, with empathy, everything you can to elect Mikie Sherrill and Abigail Spanberger as the next governors of New Jersey and Virginia. Listen, when we win, Democrats do something that Republicans can't. We govern well. In the Commonwealth of Kentucky, I've been proud to break every record, from private sector investment to new jobs to new wages to exports to tourism. And what that means is a better life for our people. We see more healthcare options all over our state. We see drug overdose deaths going down 3 straight years. That's the type of governance that Virginia deserves. That's the type of governance that New Jersey deserves. And if we win both of these races, and we should do everything to make sure we do, then Donald Trump will be a political failure in his first year in this second term as president. These two candidates, I know, they are going to do a good job. They're going to show up every single day to represent their people and to move their states not to the right or the left, but forward for everyone. But for them to win, we need your help. We need you to do everything you can in these last days. That's signing up to make calls. That's signing up to knock doors. That's making the phone calls and giving what you can in this last couple of days. Listen, this is just too important. We have to win both of them, and both of these candidates have been working their tail off. I've been traveling this country, and right now the American people are calling out for leaders like these two that recognize that when most people wake up in the morning, they're not thinking about the next election. They're thinking about their job and whether they can support their family. They're thinking about the next doctor's appointment for themselves, their parents, or their kids. They're thinking about the roads and bridges they drive each day, the school they drop their kids off at, and whether they feel safe in their community. These are the type of leaders that are focused on the everyday problems, the everyday concerns of Americans, and that can be the type of leaders that re-earn the faith of the American people for the Democratic Party. I am the vice chair of the Democratic Governors Association. I'm going to be chair next year. We have 36 races. And to have the type of momentum where next year we can change the map for 2028, we've got to win both of these elections. So everybody, we're counting on you, but we know you wouldn't be on this call if you didn't believe, if you weren't willing to put in the work, and if you didn't know that right now is crucial for the future of our country. So thank you very much. As you can tell, I am driving, well, I'm riding through a storm that's outside. I'm sorry if it's been a little bit noisy, but this is absolutely worth it, as are these candidates, as are each and every one of you. Very grateful to be in this party with you. Let's go win.
Thank you so much, Governor Beshear. I know I'm feeling fired up right now. I hope you guys are too. So I want to talk to you right now about how you can make a difference in these elections coming up. So as we know, we have elections right now happening in Virginia and New Jersey this year for governor and for our down ballot races. So at the top of the call, we heard from Mikie Sherrill about the importance of getting out the vote in her home state. So if you're feeling fired up right now, we have so many different ways that you can take action with our teams and in our communities. If you live in Virginia or New Jersey, please come out with us and talk to your communities. So we're going to be knocking doors every single day until Election Day, which is coming up on Tuesday, all across the state. Election Day, as we know, is only 6 days away, and knocking on doors, talking to your friends and family is truly one of the most effective things that we can do to take action right now. I personally went out and knocked doors in my neighborhood last week. I'm a Virginian, and I met my school board candidate. So if you live in New Jersey or Virginia, please take a couple of seconds, scan the QR codes on the screen. If you're watching from your phone and can't scan the QR codes, just make sure to visit mobilize.us/NJ Victory 2025 if you live in Virginia, or mobilize.us/Spanberger for governor if you live in the Commonwealth. Now, if you don't live in any of those states, we have so many other ways that you can get involved with the work that we're doing right now. So, as we know, we have critical elections not only happening in Virginia and New Jersey, but also in California, Pennsylvania, Maine, New York, and other states all across the country. So our call crew right now, run by volunteers, is talking to voters in key states every single day until Election Day. They're actually making calls to Maine voters right now. So take a second, scan the QR code on the screen, and sign up to make a difference in these elections. We'll be calling voters on weeknights at 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern Time. During the final 4 days leading up to the election, we'll also be calling voters literally all day. We have shifts at noon, 2 p.m., 4 p.m., and 6 p.m. Eastern Time. If you want more information about this, you can also text GOTV to 43367, which you can see at the bottom of the screen, to get all these links to get involved. And if you have any time at all over the next couple of days, join our team and help us talk to folks and make sure that they have a plan to vote. Next slide. So to make sure that people have a plan to vote, they can go to iwillvote.com. I went and I voted early this Monday in Virginia, and I found all of my voting information on iwillvote.com. This is a fantastic resource that our team has put together. So if you need help finding your polling location, your early voting location, or have any questions about absentee ballots or anything voting related at all, go to iwillvote.com. It's your one-stop shop for all things voting. Now, as a fellow Virginian, I am so excited to get ready for the rest of this call and talk about the amazing races that we have going on. Make sure you guys all make a plan to vote. And Lorenza, I'm going to toss this back to you.
Amazing. Thanks, Monsi. I hope everyone took a moment again to text GOTV to 43367. When you text that number, it will send you a link to sign up to volunteer. I cannot emphasize enough how many different ways there are to get involved. Knock on doors, that's my personal favorite. I too was out this weekend knocking on doors, make phone calls. But I also just want to emphasize there are so many ways for you to take action right now. Think about all of the friends and family that you have across states that have 2025 elections. Think think about, do you know someone in California, in Maine, in New Jersey, in Virginia, right? Go through your contact list, make sure those folks have a plan to vote. I did that through my contact list the other day. I had some friends who didn't even realize, they hadn't updated their voter registration, or they, hadn't built it into their calendar on what to do next. So just make sure, again, everyone in your life has a plan to vote, and an extra reminder and an extra touch wouldn't hurt. So a couple of our speakers are still joining. But until then, again, make sure to text GOTV to 43367. And also, perfect, there we go. And be sure to check out those mobilized links and those pages. We are running, as Monsi said, we are running canvases. We are doing virtual phone banks. Those you can join right from your laptop. So right here, you can see, you can scan this QR code and sign up to Canvas. Even if you live out of state, you can drive in and make a plan to knock on doors. The campaigns have all sorts of resources to help you come in state if that's something that you are able to do. So be sure to check those links. But with that, I'm excited to introduce our next guest speaker. Ready to pass it over to Senator Klobuchar. Over to you. Thank you for joining.
Well, thank you so much. It is wonderful to be on. I am so excited about this gathering. And I think Democrats, we are here tonight because we believe in the power of organizing. I know Governor Beshear believes it. I know my fellow senators, Cory Booker, Chris Coons, Ben Ray Luján, and Andy Kim do. And I know that Congressman Swalwell and Congresswoman McClellan believe in organizing. And Elizabeth Guzmán of the Commonwealth of Virginia, who's going to flip District 22, who's also on this call, knows it because Tim Kaine and I did this incredible event with her, door knocking event for Spanberger and Guzmán. And I just couldn't believe the energy and how she's doing. So the way I look at it is when we organize, we win. And I think it's really important for people to realize when you look at, people doom scrolling, bad stuff on TV, spoiler alert, he can't hear you when you yell at the TV. So Democrats, the facts, have overperformed in 46 of 47 key elections this year. And I'm talking about things like the Supreme Court race in Wisconsin, a mayor's race in Omaha. Many of these we've won, right? Legislative races in Iowa, but even in the reddest of red, we are overperforming, we are winning. But our biggest test, everyone, is less than a week away. We need you more than ever to elect Mikie Sherrill in New Jersey and Abigail Spanberger in Virginia. This isn't, honestly, for our friends from those two states, but the rest of us are on here to help them. This isn't, okay, I voted, all done. Your very present here shows that you know this. You understand that this is about getting people who didn't vote last year off the sidelines, friends of yours, cousins of yours, you name it. It's also about getting young voters to cast a ballot, maybe for the first time. And yes, it's even about getting some of our neighbors who voted for Donald Trump, who know he's broken his promises, to start holding him accountable. And for those of you from other states, it's for helping these incredible candidates, helping the DNC to do its work so it can get the vote out, or volunteering to help from wherever you are. Back in Minnesota, I understand these voters, nearly 10% of the people voted for me and for Donald Trump. It's true. And what those people wanted was to see costs come down. That's what he promised. So you remember this when you're out there talking to people, not only up till Tuesday, but after it. It is really important to focus on these costs because Donald Trump promised to bring costs down on day one, and he broke that promise on day one. Even Halloween candy is up more than 10%. Audio equipment is up. Tools are up. You can go through the list, check it yourself. It's unbelievable when it comes to groceries. He promises to fix healthcare. He broke that promise. Premiums are about to double under his watch, and the big ugly bill is kicking millions off healthcare while pushing hospitals and nursing homes to the brink. That's what we're standing up for right now. Democrats in Washington, while Republicans in the House have taken a 6-week vacation because they're afraid to vote on the Epstein files. Donald Trump promised to stand up for our farmers. We all know that he's broken that promise. Tariffs are crushing them. He's more interested in giving $40 billion bailouts to Argentina while they steal our farmers' markets for beef, for soybeans. Meanwhile, his number one priority is demolishing the East Wing. It has been 280 days since he took office. Costs are up, chaos is up, corruption is up. So how does this tie into New Jersey and Virginia? Of course, it's on voters' minds. They do not need governors who are going to be rubber stamps for the President of the United States. And that is exactly what their opponents are. That's why we need to elect Mikie and Abigail, two unflappable women, which anyone who watched the debates would agree, who understand that kitchen table issues. They understand that when you say you're going to make life more affordable, you actually work to make life more affordable. Mikie has worked tirelessly to deliver for New Jersey. She's taken on crime, defended Medicaid and Social Security, stood up for our unions, has distinguished service. And I'm going to make things simple. When Mikie is governor, you know that her boss will be the people of New Jersey. Her opponent has his own boss, and it isn't Bruce Springsteen, it's Donald Trump. Mikie's opponent actually said, and I learned this when I did some events with her and Cory in New Jersey. Mikie's opponent actually said he would give Trump an A for his job performance so far. So I guess doubling health insurance premiums, that gives you an A. Closing hospitals, kicking seniors out of their nursing homes, that's an A. Raising people's electric bills, that's an A. Service is what matters. And these women exemplify service in the military, on the front line. Abigail, same thing in the Commonwealth of Virginia. She has gone after the lawbreakers and during her career in law enforcement, kept our country safe. She understands the way people do when they take that oath. She understands that Trump doesn't trump the Constitution. She was ranked the most bipartisan member of Congress from Virginia and the most effective member of Congress on ag issues. And she's the mom of 3 daughters in public schools. We have 6 days, my friends, to send Mikie and Abigail to the governor's offices. We have 6 days to do our part, 6 days to send a message to the White House, or at least what's left of the White House. We won't let him bulldoze our democracy. We can't have a situation where democracy is actually in our rearview mirror as we come upon the 250th birthday of this country. We cannot become a country of tyrants, a country of kings. This nation was all about breaking from that. These elections are truly the beginning. What's been going on over the last year, that incredible No Kings rally, biggest peaceful rally ever, 7 million people, that was the prelude, right? When you saw all of those local elections and the state Supreme Court race in Wisconsin, those were the buildup. But it's D-Day 6 days from now. People are standing up and they're saying, we love our country, we're going to vote, and we are going to vote for good. And the last thing I'll say about Mikie and Abigail, because as you can imagine, we got a lot going on here as we stand up for SNAP benefits, as Republicans who have $6 billion in a fund they could spend to make sure people get food, are refusing to do it. We've got our battles here. But one of my inspirations are all those candidates running across the country, the incredible ones we're recruiting for the House and the Senate for the midterms, but also what's right in front of us, Mikie and Abigail. Isaiah 6:8 says, here I am, send me. So you think about these 2 women. When our military needed helicopter pilots, when there'd never even been a woman at the Naval Academy, what does Mikie say? She says, send me. And she goes to the Naval Academy and she takes on one of the most dangerous jobs in the military. And when they need federal law enforcement officers, when there's not really many women doing the work that she was willing to do, what does Abigail say? She says, send me. When we needed people to run in incredibly hard congressional districts, and those 2, Mikie and Abigail, in tandem in different states, decided to run and flip districts. I think Mikie's was the biggest flip in the country that time. Again, they said, send me. And when Donald Trump and his rubber stampers think they can do whatever they want, firing federal workers, stealing jobs, when they think that they can just slap our constituents with these tariffs and Donald Trump can wake up in the morning and pardon George Santos and say he's $230 million is owed to him from taxpayers, people like Mikie and Abigail, they once again say, send me to the governor's office. Democrats, it is on all of us to make sure that happens and stand with them. So thank you for joining this incredible call. Thank you for being part of this, and just do whatever they say on the call to help them. Do whatever they say to help the DNC, because we've got momentum with us right now. Don't forget it. Don't get down. Don't be one of those doom scrollers. Believe in these candidates. Think of what they stand for, and let's go in there and win in 6 days. Thanks, everyone.
Amazing. Thank you, Senator Klobuchar. And that is absolutely right, that we are here to take action. So as a reminder, text GOTV to 43367 to do so. And with that, I am so excited to introduce our next speaker and our next governor from Virginia, Abigail Spanberger.
Hi, everyone. Greetings from the road. We are on day 5 of our bus tour across Virginia. I'm actually in a car at this exact moment, obviously, but we have been taking our big bus all across Virginia. In every corner of the Commonwealth, we have been out meeting voters in districts that like to vote for Democrats and in districts that typically don't. And the call and the focus that we have been making is by being out, being present, making sure that every community feels heard, particularly at this moment. And it's an exciting time here on the ground in Virginia. I'm excited that we are just 6 days away from winning this election. I'm excited about the fact that everywhere we go, there are motivated, engaged voters who want to be a part of charting a better path for Virginia. Virginia is home to more than 320,000 federal employees, and since the earliest days of the Trump administration, we have seen attacks on Virginia's federal workforce. We have seen the impact and the crisis and the chaos caused by tariffs and retaliatory tariff policies. We have seen the impacts and the beginnings of the impacts of the so-called One Big Beautiful Bill already. We've had 3 rural health clinics announce their closure, and giving the reason for their closure, the One Big Beautiful Bill. Across Virginia, people want something different. They want a governor who will stand up for Virginians amid the ongoing chaos and division and bad policies coming out of Washington, coming out of this White House. I'm excited to be out on the campaign trail and to see that everywhere we go, people are mobilizing. They're voting early. We have 45 days of early voting here in the Commonwealth of Virginia, and they're excited, bringing out their kids, bringing out their neighbors, and heading to the polls. With just 6 days left, it is imperative that we have as much engagement and urgency on the ground, reminding people that in the Commonwealth of Virginia, we have elections every year, and sometimes that can be exhausting, but this year we are so lucky because we are able to elect people who are focused on lowering costs for Virginians, on strengthening our education, K through 12, and our colleges, community colleges, and ensuring that every kid in Virginia has an opportunity for success into the future. We have the opportunity to elect a governor and members of the House of Delegates and 3 statewide offices focused on ensuring that we are expanding and growing Virginia's economy and creating some steadiness in the face of so much chaos and division coming out of Washington. And it's a fantastic time here, in part because people know that we get to set an example for the rest of the country. It's just us in New Jersey, and we get to set an example not just in winning and winning decisively, but in how we proceed in governing come January. My background is one of service. I was a federal law enforcement officer, and then I was a CIA officer. I worked undercover my whole time with CIA, focused on counterterrorism and nuclear proliferation cases. I loved it. I loved the adventure of it, but ultimately decided to move home back in 2014. In 2017, I decided to run, and I decided to flip my district. Like my counterpart in New Jersey, Mikie Sherrill, I flipped my seat in 2018. To Democrats since 1968 in a district that my predecessor had won by 15 points. But I knew that we could bring people together. I knew that we could win that seat, and I knew that ultimately we could do right by Virginians. I'm proud of the fact that I was rated as the most bipartisan member of the Virginia delegation, bringing together coalitions of people to get things done for Virginians, and the most effective legislator in the House and the Senate on issues of ag policy, because the needs of my district demanded that I be an advocate every single day for Virginia agriculture, which is our #1 private industry in the Commonwealth. So as we head towards November 4th, the support that you all are providing from afar matters. Engagement with voters on the ground in Virginia matters. You know, our ability to cast a vote is what our ability to cast a vote in Virginia and anywhere in the country is really what makes our democracy strong. And the fact that all across Virginia, we have had hundreds of thousands of people use their vote to make their voices heard is what matters. And so I'm grateful for the work that you all may do, volunteering to support your friends and family in Virginia, to make sure that we don't just win on November 4th, but that we send an extraordinarily decisive message to the rest of the country about what is possible, and certainly, when given the opportunity, what it is that we want here in Virginia. So thank you so much for having me. Thank you for your commitment to supporting races across the country. I'm truly, truly appreciative. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Thank you, Congresswoman Spanberger. And I just want to say, too, thank you to all of our guests, Congresswoman Spanberger, Congresswoman Sherrill, Chair Martin, for joining us from the road. It is GOTV. We are out here talking to voters. So appreciate everyone joining in. With that, I'm excited to introduce our next speaker, Senator Chris Coons.
Thanks, Lorenza, and thanks everybody who's on this call. This is the last most important few days before the 2025 elections. And I was thrilled to be able to hear from Abigail Spanberger, who is going to be a fantastic governor of Virginia, from my dear friend and colleague, Senator Amy Klobuchar, who laid out the case in a compelling way, and Mikie Sherrill, the next governor of New Jersey. We've got some great and important races in New Jersey and in Virginia. But I'm here to talk about one more race. In Pennsylvania, there are 3 state Supreme Court justices, Donahue, Doherty, and Wecht, that make the difference in the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. They have to be voted to be retained. It's an unusual structure, but if they are retained, then our party, retains the majority on the Pennsylvania Supreme Court for the 2026 elections and on into 2028. There's a billionaire who's been funding lots of attack ads against them, misleading the people of Pennsylvania. If you've got the time, the heart, and the energy to text GOTV to 43367 and make some phone calls, do some door knocking, engage on the ground, or by text or email or phone, please consider also helping the race in Pennsylvania. If we can retain the current map, I'm convinced we can win 3 House seats, flip them from Republican to Democrat, just like Abigail Spanberger flipped a long-held Republican seat to Democrat in 2018. I think we can bring that change to Pennsylvania in 2026. But first, we have to hold those key Supreme Court seats. Folks, the stakes here are high. All of us have had a tough year watching Donald Trump lie to the American people and break his promises. He ran on lowering costs, on making America healthy again, and on no new foreign wars. Right now, he's sleepwalking us into a war with Venezuela. We've seen costs skyrocket, and starting this weekend, everybody who gets their health care through the Affordable Care Act is going to see the costs of having the extended tax credits expire at the end of the year. We're in a shutdown right now here in the federal government because Republicans won't come to the table and negotiate a fair path forward to keep healthcare costs affordable for millions of Americans. That's what's at stake, and that's what we're fighting for. You've heard all of us talk about the many, many ways Trump is unsettling our democracy and destabilizing our country. But if you want to prove that this is what democracy looks like, pick up your phone, walk a district, knock some doors, take a precinct, get engaged in your election locally if you're in Pennsylvania or New Jersey or Virginia, or take the time to volunteer. I'm so grateful that you've joined us for this call tonight. I'm headed to an event myself right now, and I am so encouraged and inspired by your willingness to engage, to work, and to fight. Nothing short of our democracy is at stake. And frankly, the Republicans in Congress who are holding our health care hostage and President Trump will be looking at the outcome of this election to see if they can get away with cheating our farmers, lying about tariffs, raising our health care costs, and slashing the programs that help middle-class Americans in order to pay for a tax cut for billionaires. We won't let them do this. So folks, let's get busy, let's get working, and on Tuesday, let's win. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, Senator Coons. We appreciate that so much. Thank you. Wonderful. And up next, excited to introduce candidate for delegate in Virginia 22, Elizabeth Guzmán. Pass it over to you.
Hello, everyone. I am former delegate Elizabeth Guzmán. Thanks to the DNC and the organizing team for hosting. I'm a mother of 4 children, social worker. I'm a union member, but most importantly, I'm a fighter for working families and marginalized communities. And I'm the proud Democrat running for the Virginia House of Delegates in one of the most competitive districts, District 22, the last red district in Prince William County. Democrats like Abigail Spanberger and myself are fighting to make life more affordable for working families versus Republicans who are enabling Donald Trump, cutting jobs, defunding our public education, and stripping health care from thousands of Virginians. Trump's policies have hurt Virginia's economy. 32,000 jobs are expected to be lost this year because of the Dodge cuts. Unemployment has risen for 7 straight months, longest stretch since the 2008 recession. Trump's tariffs and federal layoffs have slowed job growth and are hurting families and farmers in Virginia. This is why we need Abigail Spanberger in the governor's mansion to fight for hardworking Virginian families. But we also need to expand the Democratic majority in the House of Delegates, because that's how we will pass legislation that lower costs for families, strengthen our public schools and workforce programs, protect reproductive rights and our fundamental freedoms. The future of our daughters is on the ballot. That is why we are knocking on doors, raising the money to communicate our democratic message, to protect our American freedoms and provide hope not only to Virginians, but also to Americans throughout this country, because this election is going to be a referendum on Donald Trump. And with your help, we are not only gonna win big, we are going to crush it. Democrats, the stakes could be higher, and every conversation is going to count in the next 6 days. Help us turn out voters in these final days. Sign up to Phone Bank or Canvas. Text GOTV to 43367. Text GOTV to 43367 to help Virginia and defend our democracy. When Democrats organize together, we win up and down the ballot. We need you, because when we vote, we win. Thanks, everyone. Thank you for your commitment and energy. And now I pass it back to Lorenza Ramirez.
Thank you so much. Amazing. And up next, I'm excited to introduce Representative Swalwell from California. Hello.
Hey, y'all. Very excited to be a part of this effort, because what we are doing in the next 6 days is we are writing our party's comeback story. And I don't need to tell you what it felt like last November after we got the results for the presidential election and the Senate and the House. And our constituents have felt the results of that in the healthcare that costs more, the groceries that cost more, the conflicts that are being added to the map. And now they are counting on all of us in the first opportunity since that election to do something. And doing something looks like making that phone call, knocking on that door, sending that small contribution, doing everything we can to get these key races across the finish line. We do this because when we win, we can govern, and when we govern, we can change. And winning in Virginia and New Jersey is going to mean big changes, positive changes in the lives of those constituents. Winning in Pennsylvania will make sure that we have justices who give us access to the ballot box in the midterm elections, and also in the presidential election, knowing that Donald Trump and his MAGA crew are hell-bent on putting in MAGA judges so that they can get rid of the rule of law. So those races really, really matter. And there's another race I want to tell you about that's happening in California. That's Prop 50. So yes, Donald Trump told Texas Governor Greg Abbott he wants 5 more seats that are Republican seats. He's not going to the midterms trying to say that he's got a better healthcare policy. He's not going to the midterms trying to say that he did bring down costs on day one. He's not going to the midterms saying that he brought peace to Russia and Ukraine as he promised. He's just trying to make it a harder math problem, harder for Democrats to win with rigged districting that he's doing in Texas, Florida, Ohio, Indiana, Missouri, Kansas, all over the country. So California, we're not just going to take it. And led by Governor Newsom, rather than fighting this fight with one hand tied behind our back, and as Democrats, it's usually the upper hand, we are fully fighting back against Texas, and we are going to get 5 new Democratic seats with Prop 50 next Tuesday to match what they've done in Texas and to give us a shot at winning the midterms. So once we win in Virginia, in New Jersey, in Pennsylvania, and in California, it's not just that we're able to govern, it's that the momentum is going to start coming our way. I think sports is just like politics. Momentum begets momentum. We're going to win next Tuesday. And the story is going to be that Democrats are starting to write their comeback story. It's also going to deflate and demoralize the other side. You're going to see retirements on their side, and more people are going to be want to be a part of our winning team. So to Ken Martin and the DNC team, be ready, because we need to have a social media blitz that tells the country we are back and lives in America are going to get better when we can govern again. Let's go do it.
Amazing. Thank you, Congressman. And next, I'm excited to introduce Senator Ben Ray Luján.
Gracias, Lorenza. Thank you. Thank you for that little intro there, hearing from our friends tonight. I'm getting inspired, y'all. Look, I'm a United States Senator out of New Mexico, and I got a chance to get to know a lot of you when I was a member of the U.S. House of Representatives, and I had that responsibility to chair the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee when we won the majority back in 2018. Remember, that was the first term of President Trump, and for those midterms, if we do this right in Virginia and New Jersey, we can do this all over America. So remember this, every election matters. And the one next week is the first big opportunity to send Donald Trump and congressional Republicans a clear message. The American people reject their agenda of giving tax giveaways to billionaires while ripping healthcare and food assistance away from millions of our brothers and sisters across America. Now, we've heard the importance of these elections in New Jersey, in Virginia, California, Pennsylvania, but I'm telling you, people all over America are watching as well. But let's not take our attention off the prize, as we were always reminded by the great John Lewis. Now, I had the honor of serving with Abigail Spanberger, with Mikie Sherrill in the United States House of Representatives. And I can tell you firsthand that they're the real deal. When others were playing games, they got to work. While House Republicans today can't even show up to vote, Abigail and Mikie showed up every single day to deliver for their constituents. They fought to lower costs, protect families, make communities safer, and get things done. Not just talk about them. This is what real leadership looks like. Now they're stepping up again. Abigail for governor of Virginia, Mikie for governor of New Jersey, because they believe in public service. They believe in putting people first. Democratic governors are on the front lines of fighting back against Donald Trump's attacks. And we need Abigail Spanberger. We need Mikie Sherrill to join their ranks. And across the country, Donald Trump is scheming to rig the maps because his policies are so unpopular that he has to cheat to win. Now, let's be honest. Families everywhere are struggling with higher prices, higher health premiums, and a government that too often seems broken. Republicans have turned their backs on working families, cutting healthcare, threatening food assistance, and siding with the wealthy and well-connected. But now we have a chance to fight back. Organizing always wins elections. And it is especially important in years like this one when not everyone is tuned in. Making phone calls, knocking on doors are the difference makers. So as you see on the bottom of your screen, text GOTV to 43367 to sign up for phone banks or for canvases. It's on the bottom of the screen. Don't waste time. Text it right now. And as the great John Lewis told us, as I'm wearing on my hand here today, it's okay to get in good trouble. When we work together, we win together. Lorenza, back to you.
Gracias. Amazing. Cannot emphasize enough how organizing is the reason that we are here in the final days. I was out canvassing last weekend. I had so many conversations with voters who, again, didn't have a plan to vote. You can make that difference and make sure that they turn out. So with that, excited to pass it over to Congresswoman Jennifer McClellan in Virginia.
Thank you, Lorenza, and thank you, everybody, for watching and for what I know you're going to do between now and Election Day to help us send a message to Donald Trump that his policies are not the way that we want to go in America. Look, I know Abigail Spanberger and Mikie Sherrill. I've served with both of them, and we need them both to win. But I got a personal stake in Virginia. Next week, we have the opportunity to either elect a cheerleader for Donald Trump or someone who is going to fight for Virginians, who are going to fight for our federal workers, who are going to fight to lower costs, who are going to fight for our education system. And I've got 2 kids. And there is only one person that I trust to build a future for them as the next governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia, and that is Abigail Spanberger. She is tough as nails. She is laser focused on making sure that she addresses the needs of Virginians. And we have been hit harder than just about any other state by the policies of Donald Trump. We've got the second highest number of federal workers of any state in the country. And we are hurting, whether it's our farmers who are hurting because of the tariffs, whether it's our federal workers, whether it's our education system, our state budget. We're hurting here in Virginia, and we need a governor who is going to clean up the mess that Donald Trump and congressional Republicans are sending down to our states. That is Abigail Spanberger. And listen, I got my start as a community organizer when I was 18 years old. We got elections every year in Virginia. I have volunteered on every election in Virginia, even when I wasn't on the ballot. And let me just say this. We always say this is the most important election of our lives, but that's because every election is the most important of our lives. But this one is more important than ever, because if we don't take back the governor's mansion in Virginia, if we do not keep the House, if we do not have a lieutenant governor and attorney general that are going to fight for Virginians, then I don't know how we're going to hold the line against these policies of Donald Trump until we take back the Congress next year, which we're going to do. And that starts in Virginia and in New Jersey and Pennsylvania and California, and the work that you are going to do. So for me, for every Virginian, for my children, make sure that you text GOTV to 43367. Sign up for a shift. We've got early voting going on. Saturday's the last day to vote, so make sure you are signing up now. And on Election Day, we are going to send a fighter for Virginians to the governor's mansion.
Amazing. Wonderful. Thank you so much. And to close us out this evening, excited to introduce our final speaker, Congresswoman Chrissy Houlahan.
Hello, everybody, and my apologies for being in the car on my way home in the city of brotherly love in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, the Keystone State. I am so privileged to be able to talk to all of you all about how important you are in the next coming days and how important this election is in the next coming days. I want to tell you a couple things. First off, Pennsylvania is absolutely right back on the ballot, and in a very important way. We have 3 judges up for what's called retention here, Supreme Court judges, and if we vote yes to retain them, we will retain the majority, and it's very, very important. A lot of what you saw in the 2018 elections was the tipping point was when we were able to gain the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania, and you saw what happened as a consequence to that. So please help us with that as you get out the vote. And secondly, this is personal to me. I am great friends, dear friends with Abigail and with Mikie. We came in together as a class. We were part of a group that you may remember called the Badasses. The Badasses still are alive and well. Abigail and Mikie are fighting for New Jersey and for Virginia. Alyssa fighting for Michigan. I'm still here fighting for Pennsylvania. But we need your help now. We need to make sure that we bring this thing home. And the way you can do that is to text GOTV 43367. Really, really important that you do this so that we can get your help in the field and on the phones to be able to make sure that we let people know what's at stake. And what is at stake is exactly what my colleagues have said ahead of me. It is the future of our democracy, but it's also just as importantly for people, it's the price of hamburgers, it's the price of healthcare, and it's the price of housing. And that's something that you and you alone can deliver in terms of an important message. I'm really grateful to be included. Please do help us here in the city of brotherly love and in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, the state of California, the Commonwealth of Virginia, and of course, New Jersey. Thanks very much for inviting me, and good luck in terms of getting the vote out.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Congresswoman. Thank you for joining us. Wonderful. Well, you have heard this evening, organizing wins elections. We cannot take a single vote for granted, and Democrats need to win decisively on Tuesday. We obviously, as you heard this evening, have critical races all across the country. So sign up, as you've heard all evening, to text GOTV to 43367. If you text this number, we will keep you updated with all the ways to get involved, making phone calls, knocking doors. And as I mentioned earlier, remind all of your friends and family in all of these election states, text them tonight, remind them, and make sure they have a plan to vote. Don't wake up on November 5th wishing that you had done more. So text GOTV to 43367, and I am so grateful and so excited for us to win next Tuesday. So let's go. Thank you so much.